this thing on. I'm so excited. I actually have makeup and my hair done. Winning for the day. This doesn't always happen, so I'm taking advantage of it and adding to this video today. To be honest with you, living the life of a mom life, I'm lucky if I get to shower every day. My top priority is my son. So, you know, take advantage of those days where your hair actually fits right and you feel kind of like a human being. So today is one of those days. Hello, so this is a little glimpse into the life of a stay-at-home mom. Get to stay and hang out with this little man all day. He's my boss baby. He lays down the rules for me. Tells me when I get to clean, when I get to cook, when I get to get ready, all that fun stuff. Over the course of, days and whatnot, I have taken a few video clips so that I could share them with you guys and let you know what a day looks like for us. So what a typical day looks like for my stay-at-home mom life is never the same. We do try to have somewhat of a schedule or some consistency. But again, boss baby, he tells us when we're going to do things and when we don't do things. So we typically, lately he's been getting up between 6 and 7 in the morning. So usually what we'll do is we'll come downstairs and I let him play for a little bit.
Where's Clayton? Where's Clayton? Where is he? Where is he? Where's Clayton? There he is! Hi, Booger! How's it going? Where's Clayton? Where is he? Oh, we played hide and go seek. There he is! Hi, Booger! Oh! There he is! There he is! There he is! There he is! Where is he? Where is he? There he is! Hi, buddy!
And sometimes he's still a little tired, so we might take another nap. Or sometimes he's up for the morning. This kid hates naps. So our naps are very sporadic whenever we can get them in, and we are still working on sleeping throughout the night and stuff like that. So another thing that we do in the morning is I've been letting him try a little bit of, I was going to say people food, but I guess it's all people food, but adult food, I guess, if you will, finger food. So what he has been trying, we are totally changing channels on the TV right now. So one thing that he has been trying that he seems to like is pancakes. So I will rip up little pieces of pancake, put them on his little tray of his high chair, and he eats pancakes. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to get him to eat with us. We want them to be family meals, and it kind of gets him in the habit of, okay, so we all sit down and we all eat together, kind of a thing. And it helps him learn so that he can watch us when we're eating as well.
Ready for some bananas? I know you didn't like bananas last time. Maybe these will be different bananas. Still don't like bananas.
So that's typically our next thing that we do in the morning. If we hadn't already, I try to get him down for a morning nap. I do try to get him down for 2 naps a day. In the midst of that, I might be doing some cleaning if I can get him to take a nap. I was teaching a class for a little bit, so I would check in on my students. What else? You know, anything really. Might prep food for later in the day, different things like that. So those are a few things that we try to do in the morning. In the afternoon, well, I guess, let me backtrack. So lunchtime, we do the same thing. So he'll eat a jar of baby food with me, and we will eat lunch, and he'll sit at the table with me. I feed him while I eat, and if it's something that I'm eating that he can eat, then I'll share with him with that meal as well. After lunch, we usually do a little bit more of playtime. Definitely get lots of mommy snuggle time in too.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Are we flying? Are we flying? You just wanted some mommy snuggles. That's why he was crabby. That's just why. You just wanted some mommy snuggle time. Mama snuggle time. You just wanted mama snuggles. Yeah, you did. You just wanted mommy snuggles. Oh, you snuggles. Give mama a big hug. Oh, you tickle mama. You tickle it, mama. What, really? Is that so? Is that so? What else? Tell me more. Tell me more. We flying.
And so we play, we snuggle, we drink bottles, do all kinds of fun stuff. We like to bounce, we like to try new skills, we like to roll over, we like to read. Over the ocean and through the trees until everyone heard it and everyone knew of the one and only ever you. Not once had there been such eyes, such a nose, such a silly, wiggly, wonderful toes. In fact, I think I'll count to 3 so you can wiggle your toes for me. 1, 2, 3. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. When the polar bears heard, they danced until dawn. From faraway places, the geese flew home. The moon stayed up until morning next day, and none of the ladybugs flew away. So whenever you doubt just how special you are, and you wonder who loves you, how much and how far, listen for geese honking high in the sky. They're singing a song to remember you by. Or notice the bears asleep at the zoo. It's because they've been dancing all night for you. Or drift off to sleep to the sound of the wind. Oh, you spotted that camera. Listen closely. It's whispering your name again. Clayton. If the moon stays up until morning one day, or a ladybug lands and decides to stay, or a little birdie sits on your window a while, or your little lip, it's because they're all hoping to see you smile. For never before, in story or rhyme, not even once upon a time, has the world ever known a you, my friend, and it never will, not ever again. Heaven blew every trumpet and played every horn on the wonderful, marvelous night you were born. The end. Compliments of on the night you were born. We do different things like that.
Hey, big booger. Ooh, we gotta give the doggies some water. Water. You got that bowl for them. You want that bowl so you can splash, huh? Splash. Back up, Ty. Mossy, hold on. There. All right. What you doing, Bugger? Hey. What you doing? What you doing? You helping Mommy put laundry away? Yeah? Are you helping me put laundry away?
I just found out about my hepatitis. I know for
You gonna fold all these clothes up?
One pill once a day, taken
Huh?
with or without food for 12 weeks.
Yeah?
Before starting Epclusa, your
Good
doctor will
enough.
test if you have had
Good
hepatitis
enough.
B, which may flare up if you
Go, go, go.
have serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor
Are you
if have
talking?
hepatitis B, other liver or kidney problems.
Tell me a story. Say, mama, mama, mama. Mama, mama. Are you gonna be crabby now?
Effects include headache and tiredness.
You can't be crabby.
Doctor today.
No.
Is your kind of cure.
No crabbiness allowed. No crabbiness allowed. No, 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 no. No. Hey. You got your feet. Really? You got your feet, Clayton. I'm so proud of you. You rolled over to your side. You roll back over?
The only waterproof bikini trimmer and hydrating razor in the world.
What do we get in the mail today, Clayton? Huh? What do we get? Anything good? Anything good we got there? Is that a good one? What about some of these other ones? Here, let me see that one. What about these ones? Is that one a good one? What about, oh, yep, that's how I feel about bills today, too. Yep. Bye-bye, bills. Wait, you make a good bill collector. Oh, yep.
So those are a few things that we try to do. And then if it's nice out, I have been trying to get him to the park every day, go for a little walk, get him out of the house. Just so that he gets used to being outside, being around other people, because, you know, being a stay-at-home mom, you're stuck inside. Well, I shouldn't say you're stuck inside, but you might tend to stay inside a little bit more. So I think socializing is really important for him, and I want to get him out as much as possible. He's kind of little right now, so our options are a little limited, but we've been doing like Mommy and Me type classes. I know I did another video on that telling you about our Mommy and Me fitness class. We did swim classes, different things so that I can get him interacting with other kids so that he's not just interacting with me. So that is something that we do try to do every day if we can, if it's nice out. Usually after that time, we come home. We're just going to start getting ready for dinner.
Are you playing? What are you doing? Let me see you get that monkey. Let me see you get that monkey. Let me see you get that monkey. Mama got the monkey. Mama got the monkey. Let me see you get it. Get it! Keep bouncing. Keep bouncing. What's Tai-Tai doing? You having fun? You having fun? Huh? I got that monkey. Get it, get it, get it. Let me see you bounce. Let me see you bounce. Don't give up. Don't give up. Distracted by the doggies. Nope, not even paying attention. There we go. Yay! Also, Mommy can get dinner cooked, huh? See, whatever works to get dinner cooked, huh?
So he usually kind of hangs out in the kitchen with me while I meal prep. Excuse me, get ready for dinner. And after dinner, or at dinner, he eats a can of baby food as well. And again, if it's something that I'm eating that I can share with him, then I've been starting to share with him. After dinner, we usually do a little bit of playtime and kind of let him burn off some of that energy that he has. And then we start our bedtime routine. We were doing baths at night, but I found that after bath time, it seems to be winding him up. So doing bath time at night wasn't working anymore. So we have moved bath time to in the morning or sometimes the afternoon, just depending on what our day looks like. Because there might be other days where we go visit friends, family, or, you know, we have other things to do. So we kind of just live our life day by day, which is so weird for me because I used to be very structured and things, you know, I'd wake up, I'd go to the gym, I'd go to work, and now I wake up. I do try to work out. I do try to work out with my little guy. He is a really good 20-pound weight. So I try to do workouts with him. But it's a different kind of structure than what we used to have in our lives. So we are adapting and trying new things. Hey, that's us, huh? See, that's us on that camera. About being a stay-at-home mom. So I love it. Let's start by saying that. There's so many moments of this little guy's life that I think I would have missed had I been working, and I am so grateful for being able to be home with him and being able to kind of help him and teach him and watch him grow. Things that, you know, if I would have been working, would have been really difficult for me. You know, there are days that are challenging. Keep in mind there are pros and cons to everything, whether you are a working mama or whether you are a stay-at-home mama. There are pros and cons to both. I guess I can really only speak on behalf of the stay-at-home mama pro and cons, but some pros, like I said, get to watch this little guy grow and be silly and have fun and play with him. And, you know, we're just getting into the summer months, so I'm so excited to be able to, you know, watch him play. And we took swimming lessons, so we're going to go swimming and get to do a lot of fun things that, you know, I never thought that I'd be able to do. So I'm really excited about that. And, you know, some cons to it would be that, you know, there is no breaks. There's no lunch break. There's no 5-minute break. There's no bathroom breaks. There's no breaks at all. Unless, you know, your significant other or a friend, family member, or whoever is there with you. It's nonstop, 24 hours a day. And, you know, like I've talked about before, this little guy, he doesn't like to sleep through the night. So when he cries, I wake up and I tend to him. If I was working, I don't know how I would function, because sometimes it takes like a 10-hour period to get like 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep. We are getting a little bit better with the sleep, but like I said, there are nights where, you know, he just wants to snuggle with mama, or, you know, I don't know, maybe he just feels lonely, or maybe it's warm, cold, any of those things really, or he's hungry. He might be hungry. So, you know, like I said, there are no breaks. So we are hands-on 24/7. So there are moments where, you know, he might be getting really fussy, and, you know, maybe I have had a lack of sleep and I'm having a hard time kind of, you know, dealing with it at that moment. You know, those are the days where you get no breaks. And there are moments too where I think sometimes I miss the whole career life. Prior to being a stay-at-home mom, I was a social worker, and I worked full-time and had a career. I traveled. I worked with kids, amongst many other populations over the course of, you know, my career. So sometimes I wonder, you know, I spent all that money for a master's degree, and now I'm staying home and not really using it. But that's when me, being me, kind of chimes in and reminds myself that, yes, I may not necessarily be employed by anybody in particular, except I'm a boss baby here, but those skills that I have and that I've learned, I'm using to help him grow. And I'm teaching and nurturing and loving him and giving him everything I possibly can so that he can grow up and be the best version of himself. And hopefully I'm being a good role model for him. So that is a creative way that I like to kind of trick my mind when I get anxious thinking and say, okay, well, yes, I may not be out working in the field, but I'm doing something better, and I'm helping this little boy grow and become a better person. So that, again, you can always take a con and flip it into a pro. You know, I think another downfall sometimes is I think, like, financially I'm not really able to provide for my family because I'm not working. I do try to do some side hustles here and there. I do have a little video about the side hustles because I was so excited the one day. So I made a video about that. Little things like that just to make some extra cash so that me and Clayton can have fun and go do things at the park or whatever we might want to do. You know, so there's the financial aspect. You know, there is this thought that I had once whenever I had thought that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom when I found out I was pregnant. And I thought, I'm going to have the house clean every day. I'm going to cook 3 meals every day. I'm going to try new recipes. I'm going to craft, and I'm going to do all these things. Oh boy, I don't know who I was kidding, myself or the fact that people can really do those things. Huh? Say, we don't always get to do that, but we just have fun and we play. Huh? So our house is lived in comfortably. It may not always be clean, but we live in it and we have fun in it. Huh? Yeah, say we have fun in it. And we do cook sometimes. Sometimes it's not as fancy maybe as I once used to cook, but I have a little helper here that helps me cook. He'll sit on the kitchen table or in his high chair out in the kitchen with me. Sometimes I even bring the bouncer out and let him play while I, you know, make dinner. So those are some things, my fairy tale stay-at-home mom life, what I thought was going to happen. And now we realize that's not the, you've seen this video, you see what the reality of the day looks like and how things can change. And we just go with the flow. And I love learning new things about myself through him because I thought I was this one type of person, but, you know, spending time with him and doing this whole mom thing and doing all these different things, I'm learning a lot about myself. And I think that I belong to a lot of these mom groups on Facebook and other social media platforms, and they always, there's moms in there that always talk about how they feel like they've lost themselves when they became a stay-at-home mom. And I kind of vowed to myself that I was never going to let that happen. I didn't want to lose myself. And there are days, there are hard days where I might feel like I lost myself, but then there are days where I think I've really found myself. I've been so fortunate to take a step back from the day-to-day hustle, the stress, the commotion, the chaos of, you know, working everyday life, to be able to really figure out who I am and enjoy life and, you know, be a free spirit with my son. That's what I like to call it. See, we just play, we go with the flow. But yeah, so there, like I said, there are pros, there are cons. I can really only speak on behalf of the stay-at-home mom, pros and cons. And we are just enjoying every moment, enjoying making these videos for you guys to be in tune with our life. And hopefully one day, I hope by making these videos that Clayton will kind of go back and look at them and see what it was like growing up for him. And, you know, hopefully, I don't know, I don't want to cry, but get an idea of what his childhood was like in case he ever forgets. And then me and my husband can always go back and look when we get those moments where we're like, oh, we miss him as a little baby. And then we can just go back and we can say, hey, there's baby Clayton. I remember him. But yeah, so stay-at-home mom life is a little glimpse into a day in the life of a stay-at-home mom. So yeah, fun stuff. Say, we're practicing our new skills right now while mommy makes the video. I forgot to add that sometimes I get to edit my videos in between when we take a nap. And sometimes Clayton likes to help me edit videos, and he likes to watch them and watch himself on the camera as well. So, again, a day in the life of a stay-at-home mom. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to give us a like or a comment, and we'll get back with you. And of course, don't forget, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button so you can watch more sagas of the Sassy Mom and Clayton.